Tantor Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents Maxed Steel by M.J. Fields. Narrated by Troy Duran and Carolyn Eve. Jersey U. Max. Welcome to Jersey U, Dad booms through the speaker system of my new ride. Well, new to me anyway. When the lease on the Beamer was up, I paid cash for the used Ford pickup truck. My brother-in-law, Brand, was impressed by my choice. Dad asked if it came with a 10-gallon hat, and I told him both it was paid for, and yeah, I was pretty damn proud of that fact. The conversation ended. Mom squeals. Her excitement could easily be mistaken for exaggerated, but I know damn well it's no bullshit. Not with my mom. Are you excited to start college, Maximus? I give her what she's looking for, what she deserves. A big old hell yes. Truth be told, I have no desire to go to college or be part of an institution after the last year of high school. Luckily, I got a pretty cool break and spent the last 2 years traveling the world as a professional surfer right out of high school. Found myself on the waves, too. Well, the me who is now driving the roads of JU to start college at the ripe old age of 20 to fulfill a promise to Mom. Returning to school sucks harder than a starving whore, and that is no disrespect to the working women. Love me a working woman. All of them. Blue collar, white collar, no collar. Hell, even those who wear a dog collar. Whatever bobs their buoy is bitching to me. Surfing has always been my passion and my escape. But things change. Traveling the world was expensive as fuck. Sponsorships have been great, but I don't see myself making a career out of surfing. Too many unknowns. Take, for example, the last 2 competitions where I pretty much thought I was done. The first time in Gush Dan in Tel Aviv, Israel, and the next in Biscay, Bilbao, Spain. And although it's not baseball where you have 3 strikes and you're out, I was certain my 3rd strike, so to speak, would not only lose me my sponsorships and possibly my life, but it would also possibly ensure I lost the bank that I make from posting shit on social media. Went out on a high here in Jersey at a local competition and announced my plan to return to college before hitting the waves again. I never expected my parents to foot the bill my whole life. Wouldn't be down with living that way. But I did think I might have a bit more time. Never would have thought that douchebag Marky Fisto, my cousin Triss's ex, would rally a bunch of punks and internet gangsters to fight corporate America and pull some shit, causing Steel Incorporated stock to do a nosedive. Wish those idiots would think about their actions and maybe use 1 or 2 brain cells left in their heads when they pull that kind of shit, and realize that it affects thousands of people's lives. People who want a decent life, need a 9-to-5, health insurance, and the ability to put a roof over their families' heads. Fools embodying the epitome of entitled fuck to take down people he wants to hurt with no thought about it. I have never been prouder of my parents, uncles, and Mama Joe than I was when all that went down. And that's saying a lot. The respect I give them is 100% deserved. In this case, though, they didn't wallow. They held true to who they are, and before stepping away, they helped rally many of the employees who had been part of the business for years to take over Steel. Each of my uncles, their wives, my parents, and Mama Joe, who is my grandmother, used a huge chunk of their own bank to help those they knew would do good by what they built. So, now the employees own a huge majority of Steel Inc., and my family members just consult in their areas of expertise. Was it cool they did that? Hell yes, it was. They raised kids who aren't afraid to work. I also knew they weren't losing a ton of sleep over the business being taken down. Before it even happened, I heard Dad and Mom talk about cutting back hours to hang with their grandkids, my niece and nephews, and even heard them talking about retiring early. Loved hearing Dad talk about wanting to hang with Tags and my big sister, Belle, and work on their reality show, Convicted Inc., as well as tour with my sister, Kiki, and her husband, Brand, on the road. Brand is a country singer. However, I could have done without hearing Mom talk about how hot it got her thinking of Dad holding a big, hard piece of steel in his hand. I get the fact she was talking about the tattoo gun, but I also got the innuendo. Not gonna lie, I love the way Mom and Dad carry on with each other. Sexual chemistry still going strong. But that wasn't all that has given them 20-plus years of marriage. Well, not that alone, anyway. Love is. The way he looks at her and gets flustered at times, and the way she looks at him and still blushes. That's goals right there. That's the end game. Call him Houdini because my old man must be a magician who cast some magical spell on Mom back when they met. A spell he's still casting today. She's stunning, super smart, confident, a little nerdy, and she attempts to be a badass at times, which is comical but cute. My mom, she's everything I have looked for in a chick and have yet to find. No shame in my game either. I have dated a shit ton. I've always wanted all that. I want to roll over in 10 years and not give a shit if the woman next to me has morning breath or is freshly waxed, because I am that crazy about her. I have heard the phrase used about cars and appliances. They just don't make them the way they used to. Yeah, well, that's a straight-up fact. Haven't found one yet. Not sure there is a one for me. Must have been 15 when I asked Dad one night what it took after he'd had a few too many drinks on the beach with my uncles. Pretty damn sure if he had even one more drink in him, he would have dropped his shorts to prove that he was no magician. He did insist that he was a prince and had a crown to prove it before Mom jacked him back to the house. And let me just say this, he does that shit to get Mom riled up. Amuses the hell out of him. And let me also mention that it didn't take me but a snap to figure that prince shit out either. Took even less time to talk to my cousins, JT, Trix, and Amias, about getting my own crown. Fuckers thought I was insane. Then Mai and I overheard JT and Trix talking about doing the same fucking thing they gave me shit about. Did it too. Trix and JT got theirs done together, giving #twinning a new meaning. I glance up at my rear view, where I have a picture of all 9 of us, my crew, from the day we all moved to Maniloking. What a fucking ride it's been. And, as much as I hated my last year at high school, I miss being as tight as we once were. I mean, we're still tight, but as we get older and have our own things going on, we slowly took separate turns in life. Change was inevitable. Becoming adults and shit. My sisters having kids, being an uncle, my cousins going through their shit, me going through mine. Can't always be that crew of little baddies like we were in Catholic school. Gonna say it again, adulting sucks. Well, for some of us. Pulling into the designated parking, I hear, "After this, I'm going to take you home," and I clear my throat, letting Dad know he hasn't hit end on the phone and was closer than a pubic hair to subjecting me to a major amount of TMI. "So we'll meet you around behind your dorm, kid," he chuckles. "Love that you're here," I exaggerate as I hit the screen, changing from CarPlay to the phone and hold it up to my ear. "But, gotta get those pictures, Max," Dad says with a hint of caution in his voice. "Big day, you know." I get we're doing this for Mom. Totally get it. So he doesn't need to caution me one bit, but he does. Totally get that, too. Might be gross to even think, yet here I am, doing it anyway. I'm guessing that's making Mom blush and shit, which in turn is making his chest puff out, and let's just say I'm real happy not to be sharing a suite with them tonight. Like I have off and on for a couple years while traveling the world. The first few times I was going to bust down the door and let Dad know he needed to hang the proverbial sock on the fucking doorknob to give me a heads up. Some time to turn the volume up on the TV loud enough to hit a decibel higher than Mom. Fuck. Yeah. Nope. I am done thinking about that shit. Mom's a catch for sure, but she's Mom, which makes it pretty nasty to be in my head.
"You still there, Max?"
Mom asks. "Sure am, pretty lady," I say, holding my phone to my ear with my shoulder. I grab my backpack out of the back and fling it over my shoulder. "Be there in 15.
"Head held high, Maximus Steele,"
Mom says with a mixture of a smile on her face, some pride, and emotions laced in her voice.
"We are so proud of you."
"Thanks, Mom. Love you. See you in a bit." I end the call, shove the phone in my back pocket, shut the door, and hit lock on the key fob. Then I look around the parking lot, the farthest from my dorm by a good 15-minute hike, but it saves bank to park in the outskirts. So I then commence the hiking. Head held high, Maximus, I think. The winter of my senior year was the only time in my life that my head wasn't held high. Had an accident that could have killed Amias. Damn near ruined his career in the MLB. Got a DUI and knew for a fact that I hadn't drank then drove. Not that night. Not ever. What I did do was take a drink at the bar that I had picked Mai up from. It was offered by a stranger, something I never do. Thought it was water, and it was, but there was a little something extra in the mix. Took a few months to get that straightened out, but my head hung low, real fucking low for a time. And every morning, Mom, who I'm pretty sure is the only person who truly believed me, would push up on her toes, give me a peck on the cheek, and tell me, "Head held high, Maximus Steele." That was the first official rocking of the proverbial boat within the crew. Nothing verbal, and it only lasted a few weeks, but fuck if that silence didn't hurt. I look across the campus at all the smiling faces of students and the wobbling smiles of parents leaving their kids, possibly for the first time. Well, except that guy who's staring at his daughter and appears as if he can't wait to hit the Jersey Turnpike and not look back until December. She doesn't seem to notice, though, as she has her nose in the air, absorbing everything new in her surroundings. I'm sure there's a story there, yet it's none of my damn business. Walking past a frat house with some Greek lettering on the front, lawn littered with babes in bikinis, around half a dozen blow-up kiddie pools. Well, not that girl. Okay, yeah, she's got bottoms on, yet no top. Not that I can see, anyway. Without closer inspection. I'm also 100% sure that would be the point in her little, or big, who the hell can tell when she's in that position anyway, display. No judgment here. She's putting it out there that she's confident, probably has a nice rack, and an open mind. My mind, however, is on getting to my dorm, getting Mom her pictures, getting Dad on his way to get to whatever plans he's got conjured up, and seeing who I have been paired up with. My sister, Bella, tried pushing me to get on the social media pages set up to help students find a roommate. Sounded like a chick thing to do, so I opted out. She's taunted me about it, telling me that she hopes I didn't get stuck with some freak show, yet saying it in a way that I know damn well she's hoping for the opposite, just so she could bust my balls. Doesn't mean shit to me. I'm Max Steele. I'm easygoing, know how to have a good time, and I get along with just about anyone. Turning down Crossroads Avenue, I see a small gathering of about half a dozen chicks holding signs over their heads. The future is female. Boys will be boys. Strike that. Boys will be accountable for their actions. The opposite of feminism is ignorance. We will not go quietly back to the kitchen. My favorite position is CEO. Real men are feminists. None of us are free until we are all free. The last one looks completely out of place with its hot pink handwritten scrawl, and I can't help but chuckle when I read, "Women who lead read." Behind them is a table of some sort. I'm pretty sure it's covered in t-shirts folded and sitting there for sale. All I can do is think to myself, Mom needs one of those. Well, shit, I think, as the sign falls on top of the dark-haired girl's head. The gentlemanly thing to do would be to go ask if she was okay, but I have gotten pretty good at reading the room, or in this case, the quad. Doing that could cause some sort of unnecessary accusation that my concern was misguided. It's not. And there she goes. I cheer her on inside as she lifts the sign while moving behind the tall blonde.
Ego check. Mila. You have got to be kidding me, I grumble, as the sign I have hoisted up over my head, splashed with the hot pink words, "Women who lead, read," comes crashing down on me. Not at all surprising. "What is it?" Lindsay, my roommate, asks as she looks around for the cause of my outburst. No doubt worried that our little demonstration is being targeted by some anti-feminist group of frat boys. "It's all good," I say, attempting to right the sign as I duck behind the others in this pathetic group of 8 females brave enough to man, or should I say woman, the quad on move-in day here at JU. Because hell no will I tell her that the cause of my outburst is the boy in a man's body walking toward us. Dirty blonde, tousled movie star hair. Blue eyes no doubt dancing in amusement because he always seems so amused. Covered in aviators, shit-ass permagrin spread across his smug face that is covered in a dusting of scruff, hiding those dimples that give off an air of innocence. Total bullshit, too. The 6 foot, probably close to 200 pounds of lean muscle, all disgustingly defined, as currently showcased by his white tee hugging all that, with the backpack slung over his bulging broad shoulder, is far from innocent. He's Max Steel. He's all sorts of grown up. And he's my enemy, even though he doesn't know it. Not yet. Peering over Sandra's shoulder, I see him stop. His chest expands with a breath, and then releases it as he turns and smiles. Then he walks toward us. I want to run, but he would certainly see that. I want to crawl under Sandra's flouncy, floor-length, earthy brown gauze skirt or whatever the hell she's wearing. But the thought of her leg hair scratching my skin makes me itchy. "How much for a tea?" Max freaking Steel asks with an amused tone to his voice.
"They're free, if you march with us,"
Lindsay retorts. I want to pop her in the mouth just to shut her up. He pushes his aviators off his eyes, and yes, they're dancing. He winks, freaking winks, and says, "Moving in today."
"We plan to be out here for a while."
Lindsay hoists her "Real Men Are Feminists" sign back up.
"Come back and march and we'll—"
Lindsay, sell him a freaking tea. Sandra insists and is suddenly my favorite feminist ever. But $25. Sandra steps forward, leaving me exposed to the elements, meaning Max Steel, who legit strains his thick neck to look at me. What the hell? I think as I scowl at him, then look around to see if any of the girls are seeing this crap. That's when I realize I'm the only person with a sign still held over my head. He chuckles and points at me, and I am totally ready to give him more shit back than he could even imagine dishing out. "Please tell me you have one of those left." That's when I realize he's pointing at my shirt that says, "I'm too clumsy to live amongst fragile masculinity." But he hasn't a damn clue who I am. I mean, why would he? I dropped 20 pounds, and my teenage acne has cleared up. But still. He continues, "That would be perfect for my mom." "So you're saying your mom is clumsy? Isn't that a bit degrading?" Tanya, the leader of this little group, quips. "Not at all. My mom is a highly intelligent woman who also has a sense of humor." "It's the kind of shirt a woman buys for herself," Tanya retorts. He lifts a shoulder, amusement lacing his voice as he says, "Or a man who knows the woman well enough that he's sure it would be perfect." He's not backing down, and neither is Tanya. I just want him to go away before he's given a chance to get a closer look at me, and maybe... Screw this. I grab a tea off the table and toss it at him. Then I turn my back to him. "Thanks, He says this like he's asking a question. $25, Sandra says. "Keep the change." I assume he gave her a $100 bill. Tanya huffs. "Can't keep giving in to the man, Mila." I whip my head around to see if he heard her use my name. Thankfully, he's walking away. I glare at her and snap. "How the hell was that giving in? I tossed one of 25 shirts you have left over. Should help recoup the cost of 2 of them that are sitting here that you planned to give away." "That's not what—" "Look around, Tanya." I cut her off. "No one else is coming out to join the demonstration. Sheesh." "Oh, they'll come." Half an hour later, all the teas are gone, but not one person has joined the demonstration. They all come to buy the shirt that Max Steele gave to his mom. The Max factor is as alive today as it has been since the day I first saw him, when he walked into my freshman homeroom at Seashore Academy, even with his little legal trouble our senior year. Everybody loved Max, especially the ladies. But not this one. Nope, not me. I despise him. The way he just gets his way all the time and every freaking thing he wants. It pisses me off. I stop dead in my tracks when realization hits like a freight train. Holy freaking shit. No, scratch that. Holy fucking shit. Max Steele is at my school. God, I despise that son of a clumsy feminist. I despise him. After depositing my sign into the nearest trash can, I hurry toward Pitcher Hall.
Check-in. Max. We good with the pictures, baby? Dad asks Mom after snapping another by the boxes sitting outside my dorm room door.
I suppose so.
Mom smiles up at me.
You ready to unlock your future and unpack?
I give her a wink. Let's do it. When I open the door, I see some shit I don't need to see on day one. Some shit my mom definitely doesn't need to see either. And when I say doesn't need to see, let me just say it's a girl bouncing up and down on my roommate wearing a fucking black cowboy hat. And she's loud enough that you don't need to get a visual to know exactly what the hell is going on. I quickly shut the door and look back at my parents. Dad scrubbing a hand over his face, trying not to laugh. Mom looks surprised, but not as mortified as I would expect. She stares at the door, then finally looks up at me.
Well,
She scrunches up her nose.
I guess we could just hang here until they're finished, unpacking.
A little peeved that this asshole clearly gives zero fucks about the fact he has a roommate moving in. I turn and beat on the door, open it a crack and yell in, "You got 60 seconds!"
Shit! Bo, you said tomorrow!
I shut the door and let them fight in private. Grumbling, I cross my arms and lean against the wall.
Offer still stands to get you a place off campus.
Mom smiles sweetly. Nah, I still want to do the first year here. You know, get the full college experience. And yeah, that too is for her. Cowboy and I will have a chat, come to some sort of agreement. It'll be just fine, Mom. Besides, if I had moved off campus, I would have never found this shirt. I grin, tugging at the hem of the tee she insisted on wearing as soon as I gave it to her when I got to the SUV. Cowboy? Dad asks. Mom looks over her shoulder at him.
His, friend was wearing a cowboy hat. You know, giddy up.
The fuck? I grumble to myself as I look at Dad, who has a shit-ass smirk on his face. Let's talk about the hypocrisy here, I can't help but point out.
Meaning?
What if that were Belle's or Kiki's roommates? Better yet, what if it were Belle or Kiki giddy-upping in there? Mom giggles.
Kiki has a white hat exactly like that, and I see Belle more as a beanie or backward baseball cap kind of girl.
Dad grumbles. The fuck? His eyes about popping out of his head as he looks down at Mom. I point to her shirt. Says the woman proudly wearing the feminist shirt. Her face turns more serious but also excited, like it does when she goes into geek mode.
Feminism is not misandry, although it certainly is construed that way in the media, isn't it?
She scratches her head.
Strong women, those truly woke,
she air quotes, and I'm waiting for the jerky lane switch and the smashing of the accelerator into the metaphorical off-ramp where she will go into detail about the fact that, although their hearts are in the right place, the woke generation has yet to truly be, yet everyone seems to follow them these days and not guide them.
Women know what they want, and it's not to be repressed. Doesn't mean they won't love a true alpha male, which is a man who...
The door flies open and the blonde, who is still wearing the cowboy hat, whispers,
"I'm so sorry. He's such a dick,"
as she flies by. "D, my hat!" Cowboy chuckles as he throws a shirt over his head.
"Screw you, Bo. It's mine now."
She flips him the bird as she stomps down the hall in a t-shirt, just covering her ass, and a cowboy hat. Opening the door wider, he grins as he waves his hand for us to enter. "Welcome to JU." I narrow my eyes at him as Mom walks in, Dad following her with a hand on her hip, jaw tight as he sizes Cowboy up. Eyes fully smiling, but obviously he's smart enough to catch the look on Dad's face. He looks back at me. Walking past him, I say, "You and I need to set some ground rules, Cowboy. Little mix-up in the info passed me on your move-in date. I apologize." He leans over and whispers, "Trust me, you'll thank me for that." Thank him for that, I think, as I step back into the hall and grab the first of 4 boxes. "Feel free to pick your bed," Cowboy says. "Gonna go with the one you didn't just, like I said," he winks. "Pick whatever bed you want." I look at the beds and see that both have obviously seen some action.
"I'd go with this one."
Mom points left. Dad sighs and she looks back at him, smirking. Cowboy hurries to the bed before Mom reaches it. "Let me get rid of these sheets,
Mrs. Steele."
Mom smiles brightly. Ripping the sheets from the bed, he chuckles. "So, the man behind you, who looks like he'd like to rough me up, is—"
"Mr. Steele."
Mom gives him some of that sunshine smile of hers. He stands up, arms full of sheets and the mattress cover. "And the new roommate who looks about the same?"
"Our son, Maximus Steele. He's—"
"Shit." He shakes his head, then quickly says, "Pardon my language, Mrs. Steele."
"So you've heard of Max?"
Mom asks as she opens the box in which she labeled Max's bedding. "Pretty sure everyone has." He smiles tightly.
"Don't worry, Bo,"
Mom tells him.
"He's a good man and for 18 years was a wonderful roommate. Right, Jace?"
Dad nods once. "As soon as he was out of diapers, he was a joy." "No need to sell me, Mom." I wink, taking one side of the mattress cover as Dad takes the corners. "I'm a big boy." "It was a pleasure to meet the two of you. I'm gonna head down to, give you all some time to get settled. Yeah." He pushes back his shaggy brown head of hair from his eyes, hair that has an obvious ring from his now missing hat. "Settled."
"You don't have to."
Before Mom finishes her sentence, he boots, scoots, and boogies out the door.
"Well, he seems, nice."
Mom looks up from the bed. "Yeah, sure," I chuckle.
"Max, if we weren't here and you walked in on the, unpacking, I'm sure you'd find this amusing."
"It's all good, Mom." I force a smile as I grab the fitted sheet from her and shake it out. She cocks her head to the side and studies me.
"If it's not, then
on my name, it's all good, I promise." An hour later, my clothes are hung, folded, and refolded at least twice before my folks are ready to leave. Mom gives me her signature smile, her blue eyes filled with unshed tears as she looks up at me and says,
"I'm so proud of you."
"I know you are, Mom," I say, pulling her into a hug, then kissing the top of her head. I look at Dad, who gives me a wink, one that's of thanks and pride. Knowing Mom would need some extra help taking that first step toward the exit, Dad rests a hand on her shoulder, the other on mine. Family hug, then we jet. A knock on the door has me looking up from my phone screen and away from my sisters who FaceTimed me.
"Who is it?"
Kiki and Bella ask at the same time. How the hell do I know? I push my ass up off the bed and walk the 4 steps it takes to get to the door.
"Turn the phone camera,"
Kiki insists. "Gonna turn it off if you don't hush," I warn her as I open the door. 4 girls stand in the hallway outside the door. 2 squeal as soon as they see me, and the other 2 try to keep their shit together.
"And he's already got a fan club,"
Bella laughs, and I shove the phone in my damn pocket. "Bo will be back to hand out hats a bit later." I smile politely and step back to shut the door.
"Wait,"
one of them yells. I open the door a bit and peek out.
"You're Max Steele, right?"
The girl with the pink hair asks. "Last I checked, yeah." I smile politely.
"And you're rooming in this dorm with Bo?"
The cute little Asian with the purple streak in her hair asks. "I believe Bo was the guy I met briefly. He was a little tied up," I answer, and they all giggle. Not sure why it's funny, but whatever.
"Oh, man, he must be pissed."
The brunette snort laughs.
"Why would he be pissed?"
Comes from my pocket, in unison, of course.
"Oh, shit, we're interrupting."
The pink-haired girl cackles.
Two girls.
The brunette snorts.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?